You join me today as we try and make it to the last 8 of this year's Champions League, the one competition we haven't won on this series. That sounds relatively easy until you factor in the fact that we're playing Real Madrid at the Bernabeu and we're already 2 goals down from the first leg. Welcome to episode 93 of Making Chelsea Stand Proud. My name's Mark, and on today's episode we have for you 2 games. The first up is the second leg of the Champions League last 16 against Real Madrid, and then we face a Leicester City in the FA Cup quarter-final for a place in this year's semi-final as we try and retain the FA Cup. Couldn't do it with the Carabao Cup, trying to do it with the FA Cup. And we face Leicester in that one. Leicester at home, Real Madrid away. And it's going to be a tough week because we're going to have to put a huge effort in against Real Madrid. And then, of course, we will have... we'll be tired going into the Leicester game. And it's not worked out completely well, and they keep telling me that Havertz needs to have a rest. He needs to have a week's holiday, so we'll be looking at doing that with him in due course. Since you were last with us, I don't think it's a great deal happened. Just one thing though before we proceed. If you do enjoy today's episode, don't forget to leave me that big thumbs up, subscribe and hit the notification button. It all helps here on YouTube. And I'd like to thank everybody who has subscribed to date, and hopefully we will continue with more subscribers. It's a big help for me. Thank you very much. Since you were last with us, nothing really has happened. Of course, that 2-0 loss to Real Madrid in the first leg at home, which was really, really annoying. And a 6-1 win. I think we went and punished Manchester United. And really, it's all very well going to punish Manchester United. The team we want to punish is Real Madrid, and I'd like a rerun of the Manchester United game. To be fair, I'd like us to play exactly the same, and I'd like us to punish Real Madrid in exactly the same way. Whether that's possible or not, of course, is another matter altogether. What else can I tell you? I don't think there's a great deal else to say. Transfer-wise, not a lot going on. Obviously, we are down into deepest, darkest March now, which means nothing happens transfer-wise, so... nothing really going on. One thing I haven't checked on is Erikan Topakea, who we lent back, and haven't checked to see how he's doing of late. Let's have a quick look ourselves, shall we? Since we loaned him back, he's made 6 appearances. He's scored 3 goals. He's had 1 assist. He's on 6.80, which is a little bit different to how he's going. Mind you, he scored 3 goals in 6 games, where he scored 6 goals in 23 games at the start of the season before we bought him and then sent him back on loan for the rest of the season. So he's not performing quite as well. Well, he is performing. He's throwing a goal every other game compared to what he was doing, but he's scoring more goals, but his average rating is down very, very slightly. So we're looking forward to him coming back into the fold at some point or other. Right. I think it really isn't a lot more I can tell you. So I think what we'll do is... one thing we will do is just check on the league table, of course, which would be a very splendid thing to do, just to check in to see where everything is. I've neglected this, obviously, with the Champions League and FA Cup going on, but the Premier League still goes on behind the scenes. We are top at the moment. We are some 12 points clear now of Manchester City in second place. They lost their last game out, of course, as you can see there. They're having a bit of a torrid run at the moment. Lost 2, drawn 1, and only won 2 of their last 5 games. So they are 12 points behind us now. Liverpool are behind them, only 3 points. They're catching them fast. But obviously a drift of us making it 15 points by my calculation. Yeah, 15 points. And then come Manchester United in fourth on 55. Having played a game more than the rest of us at the moment. Newcastle on 49 in fifth. Arsenal sixth, and Southampton taking up the rest of the European places with 44 points. But breathing down their neck is Brentford, who are going very, very well this season. As you will see, down in the relegation zone, Norwich, Aston Villa and West Ham. West Ham are almost through that trapdoor. If they don't do something, you see 5 straight losses. If they're not careful, they will disappear into the Championship at some point or other very, very soon. So obviously very dismal times in this episode, or not in this episode, in this series for West Ham United. If you're a West Ham supporter, I do apologise. Right. While we're at it, let's just have a quick peek down. We go down to the Championship. Who's down there? Oh yeah, Crystal Palace, who went down last season. They're trying to get back up. Stoke are having a good one. Reading, West Brom, Blackburn and Watford in the playoff places at the moment. Quite sure who went down last season. Cardiff, Huddersfield and Wigan in the drop zone. And then if we go down one more, I'm looking for Bristol City actually. Well, they're in 7th in League One. That's not good, is it? That really isn't good. Right, okay, with all that in mind then, let's get on with the episode. And it's the team that will face Real Madrid in this Champions League. Last 16, second leg. We've really, really got to get a result here if we're going to progress. And actually very remiss of me. The one thing I hadn't done was add a quick roundup of what's been happening in the round of 16 so far. As I said, because of the way it's working, we are the last teams to play today to round off this particular round. And all the other games have been decided. So let's have a quick recap of what's happened. All these are aggregate scores, so I won't keep saying on aggregate. Liverpool beat Hellas Verona 4-2 on the day, 9-4 overall. Paris Saint-Germain go through against Leicester 4-1, having beaten them 3-0 on the second leg. Wolves, they've done very well. They've gone through 2-0, beating Fiorentina both home and away by a goal. Manchester City are through, but by the scruff of their necks, losing 1-0 to Barcelona, but they go through 2-1. Rangers 2-1, and we're 2-0 down after the first legs. Everton go through on penalties, 1-1 on the second leg, 1-1 on aggregate. So that is through for them. And Bayern Munich, they're through, having beaten Monaco by a 1-0, 4-2 overall. So that's how the round of 16 has played out. Of course, the draw is coming up. And when do we have the draw before? Let's have a look. Schedule. We're here. No sign of it there. Well, the quarterfinals here, and there's no indication where the draw is. I'm guessing the draw will be here. That's where I'm guessing, but we will find out in due course. Right, let's get on with it then. Let's have a look at the team that will face Real Madrid. And as you'll see from this, that we are going to change our formation in order to try and combat Real Madrid. For this Champions League last 16 second leg. It's Maganin in goal, then Koulibaly, Timber and Fofana as our back line. Chilwell and James play as the complete wing backs, with Kovacic and Fernandes sat in between them. Koeman out on the left, Sterling out on the right. Matthias Tell is up front. As I said, I've been told that Havertz needs to have rest. We have got him on the bench today, I think. Yes, there he is. So on the bench, Carnesecchi, Cucurella, Savic, Havertz, Garcia, Mount, Barbosa, Dewsbury Hall, Kante, Brozier, Gvardiol, making up numbers. He's unlikely to play. He's still injured, actually. And Fratisi. Just having a quick look, see if there's anybody else. Nobody else really available, which is why we have Gavadio on the bench, but he is unlikely to play. It would be a very, very... what's the word I'm looking for? It would be something really bad happened if we need to bring him on, because he's not fit at all. He's still injured. In fact, he's out for another 7 days. So won't be seeing him in the Leicester game either, I wouldn't have thought. Right, let's get on with it then. That's the team that will face Real Madrid. Can we get a result? Let's go and find out. And here we are. This is how the two teams line up. They're playing a 4-2. Well, they're playing it with a defensive midfielder. So it's a more 4-1. We're playing this 4-2-2-1, something like that. As the teams come out onto the pitch, get confirmation of the teams for you. Real Madrid playing in all white. We're playing in all blue. And a highlight 3 minutes in. It's a throw in to Real Madrid. Tried to get that through, but we've managed to thwart that. But Sterling's been caught in the tackle. Player right on him. And that was, I won't say poor, but Sterling trying to win it back here. He's sort of getting straight out through, but it's cut out. Sterling heads it on. It's still with Real Madrid. Still looking dangerous. They've got that through again. And he's put it away. I think a question of offside. Let's hope he is. Yes, he is. Thank goodness for that. Whew. Deary me. As Jota heads that on to... and they come out from the back. And well won by Koeman over the top, looking for... I think he was looking for Mateus Tel, but it was too long. Courtois is there, but Sterling steps back, wins it. Mateus Tel, so it's the defence is really, really good and cutting it out. At the moment, we're doing okay. But, well saved by Magnan. A good save. And keeps us in the game as it is. They have a corner, though. Brahim with the in-swinger. It's headed clear. A free kick. All's come off the woodwork. Oh, so lucky. Swing that one. James back to Magnan. Fofana. Fernandes. Kovacic. Sterling. James. Fernandes. Fofana. Gets one forward, James. This is looking promising. Swings it in. Mateus Tel. 8th goal of the season. And we've got a goal back, boys and girls, after 40 minutes. Or 41 minutes, I should say. Lovely through ball. James, acres of space. And as I said, it looked promising. Put that in for Mateus Tel. Mateus Tel puts it away. And it's 1-0 on the night. And half-time has come. And, well... It's, I say it's pretty even Stevens after that first half. We've had 5 shots, 2 on target. They've had 5 shots, 1 on target. We've got 0.57 on the XG. They have 0.55. They have hit the woodwork once. We haven't done that. We've got 51% of the possession. They've got 49. It's there or thereabouts. It's pretty even Stevens. And we've got that nudge in front. We need another one early in the second half. To really put them under a bit of pressure. They've got to come at us, and hopefully we can exploit that then. Just one thing to note on the other scoreline is Rangers losing 3-0 against Juventus, and they've had a player sent off as well. Doesn't look promising for them. And with 66 minutes on the clock near enough, we're making 3 changes. Kingsley Coman comes off. Mateus Tel moves from up front to that left wing position. Havertz comes on up front just to give us that little bit of extra power. We have taken off Raheem Sterling. Barbosa comes in on the right. And we know that he can do things as well. And then we have taken off Mateo Kovacic, who was tiring. Both these, all 3 of these players were tiring, of course, not having such good games either. So Kovacic has come off. Mason Mount has come on for him. And with 76 minutes on the clock, we're making a couple more changes. No, not making one more change. I was thinking we're making two changes. Enzo Fernandez, he's tiring, not having a good game either. He's come off. We've brought on Kante for him, and he's going to play as the deep line playmaker. We move Mount up into a box-to-box midfielder, which is his preferred position. And with 87 minutes on the clock, making our final change, Koulibaly is off, and we have brought on Eric Garcia. And it's all over, and Real Madrid held out. They just dug in deep, and as you'll see, we did manage to stop them getting shots away. They had 6 shots. They only had 1 shot in that second half. I think they just almost parked the bus, whereas we didn't have too many either. I think we had 5 at half time, so we got 2 shots away. Nothing in that second half. No highlights either, I don't think. So very poor, but we've gone down 2-1 on aggregate. Did manage a win at the Bernabeu, but it wasn't enough, unfortunately. Did look 41 minutes that we might be able to do something, but everybody's played very well. Mike Maganan, a player of the match, has kept us in the game by the looks of it. I say kept us in the game. He didn't really have a great deal to do, did he? And a number of other players playing well. We've put in a good performance, but unfortunately the first leg let us down, and we have to lick our wounds and move forward to the Leicester game and a final tie against Leicester in the FA Cup. Confirmation of the result then, and Real Madrid to go through 2-1 after we managed to get a goal back in that second leg. But Juventus beat Rangers 3-0 in the end, 4-2 on aggregate to overturn their deficit in the first leg. And we'll have a look at see how that competition progresses. But the question now arises is, do we have another season here in Chelsea? I mean, we're getting towards the end of the cycle of FM. I'm wanting to do something different. Do we carry it on? Has it got a bit boring? Comments in the bit below, please. Let me know what you want me to do. Do we go out for another season here at Chelsea and just let this series roll on towards the end of FM, as opposed to doing something new this year? I am going to start a new series, because more about that at some other point. But I want to do something that, because of the new bit that you can roll an FM23 save into an FM24, we're going to start a save in FM23 and roll it on into FM24 just to see how it goes. Yeah. So that's coming up. We'll do something a bit different for that. But let me know if you want me to carry on with the Chelsea save and do another season. We do really want to try and win this Champions League. In the other news, Leicester have beaten Southampton 1-0 in the Premier League, and Leicester are 10th. I think they were 10th anyway, but they're 10th, and Southampton are in 7th. Southampton, of course, in the playoffs, or just outside the playoffs, in the European places, should I say, and that would have created a little bit of a gap for them, but means Brentford now on the same amount of points, and they've got a game in hand. And just a quick look at the match momentum. As you'll see in the first half, we only had 15 minutes of that first half. We did score a goal against the run of play, but in the second half, we were much better and really on song at the end there. Just couldn't seem to do enough to get past them. I think, as I say, they pretty much parked the bus. Once we got that goal back, they just stopped us from getting through. Well, ahead of our game against Leicester in the quarterfinals, some other quarterfinal matches have been played. Manchester City have beaten Newcastle by 2-0, and Liverpool have beaten Sheffield United by 5-0. So they are both through, Liverpool and Manchester City, which means that there's a very good chance of meeting one of them two in the semi-finals. Neither side are an easy side to beat either. And whilst we're on other news, a couple of Premier League games been played as well. Aston Villa 0, Brentford 0, Brighton 1, Everton 1, both draws. That means Brentford don't catch, or in fact, it does. They've got a point. So they've overtaken Southampton by a point into the European places. Aston Villa still not dragged themselves out. They're only a couple of points adrift now of Leeds in 17th. Brighton and Everton Everton down in 13th on 33 points. Brighton just below them, also on 33 points. But it does look as if they've climbed the table very, very slightly. In fact, there's a whole raft. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams on 33 points. Wolves just above them on 34, of course. So very tightly packed down the bottom there, and a lot can happen very quickly. Well, nothing else to report in news. So it is through to our quarter-final, FA Cup quarter-final, for a chance to play at Wembley in the semi-finals of this competition. We've played Leicester 10 times, beaten them 7 times, lost to them twice. We haven't lost to them in the last 6 games. Only managed to draw in the first leg of the EFL, the Carabao Cup semi-final last season, I think it was. Last season. But since then, we've been on a bit of a run, both at the King Power and at Stamford Bridge. And Stamford Bridge is where the game is today as well. And since then, we've been on a good run against them at Stamford Bridge. 4-1, 2-0, 3-1 in the last 3 games. Last time out, Barbosa scored 2, 1 from the penalty spot, and Kai Havertz getting the other. Curtis Jones getting Leicester a lead after 2 minutes, but it was only a consolation at that. Right, let's have a look at the team then that will face Leicester for this one, the quarter-final of the FA Cup. And here is the team that will face Leicester in this one. And we've kept the same formation. Whether that's a good idea or not, we'll find out in due course. Maganin in goal, Koulibaly, Garcia and Fofana are our defensive line. Cucurella is on for Chilwell on the left-hand side. James continues on the right. Dewsbury Hall and Fratisi is back in that midfield role. See how he does today. Koeman and Barbosa are the wide players sitting behind Kai Havertz, who comes back into the fold up front. Question mark whether we should have started him in the game against Real Madrid. I don't know. Carnasecchi, Chilwell, Savic, Sterling, Timber, Mount, Tell, Kante and Fernandes make up the bench. And this is how the two sides match up for the match. And Almeida is the manager at Leicester. I think he's in Watford in our other save, or was. Lewis Jr. is in goal then. It's Thomas, Getty, Zuma and Justin are the defensive line. Sumare is the defensive midfielder. Conor Gallagher and Tillemans play in central midfield. The man who scored a goal against us last time out, Curtis Jones and Sarr, play as the wide players sat behind Patterson Dakar, who leads the attack. And on the bench we have Vicaro, Danilo, Barnes, Sheik, Neves, Zakaria, Godsmark-Ford, Sanchez and Worm-Leighton. Just thinking, Godsmark-Ford, didn't he appear in one of our other series? It just seems to ring a bell somewhere along the line. I'll need to go and check at some point or other. Confirmation of the two teams. First highlight comes 3 minutes in. Cucurella with a throw to Koeman. Koulibaly, Cucurella, Koeman, Dewsbury Hall through to Havertz. Havertz finds Barbosa. Question of offside, I think, and it looked as if he might be. He was all on his own, which is always a bit suspicious. And it has been disallowed. He was offside. Would have been his 10th goal of the season. There he is. Oh, way offside. Good practice at putting it away, though. And the ensuing goal kick. Havertz, Dewsbury Hall. Dewsbury Hall comes forward, marauding forward. Cucurella on the overlap. Cucurella finds Koeman in the area, cuts it back. And Fratisi's back on the score sheet. It definitely stands. He's 3rd of the season. And he's playing in an attacking role in that midfield today. And there he is, pops up. He's cut back, and Fratisi, goalkeeper, was unsighted, really. James with a free kick now, swings it in. It's headed out. But James is there tidying up for Fana. Koulibaly, Cucurella, Fofana, Fratisi. Through to James. James now crosses it into the area and Havertz gets his head to it for his 44th of the season. And we go 2 up after 17 minutes. And we're in the driving seat again. Fratisi, lovely sort of play, hold-up play. James, though, crosses this ball in and looked like it was going through to Koeman, I think it was. But Havertz got there ahead of him, puts it away. Another free kick. Dewsbury Hall has a go from distance. A bit over the top, though. No more highlights in this first half. For TC after 5, Havertz after 17, giving us a 2-goal lead at half-time. We've had 6 shots, 3 of which are in target, 50%, 0.61, 59% of the possession. They've had just 1 shot. It was on target, 0.01, 41% of the possession. We just need to carry it on in the second half. And with 68 minutes on the clock, we're making 4 changes. Kingsley Koeman comes off. Raheem Sterling comes on to replace him. These are players that are tiring after their exploits in midweek. Reece James comes off. He's replaced by Yaron Timber. David Fratisi, who is coming back from injury, not really had a lot of game time. He has been replaced by Mason Mount. And Kai Havertz, he's replaced up front by Matthias Dale. We've got 1 change left to make. And our final change, we have taken off a number of players tired, but I realised we've got no central defenders, so very difficult to take off and replace in that situation. So we've taken off Barbosa, who wasn't having a good game. Seems to have lost his mojo. He was doing really well as well. Kante has come in on the right-hand side for him. And we finally get a highlight. Mount with a corner. Swung in and Leicester come away with it. Are they going to get one back here? Looks like it. And yes, they are. And Daka gets, which hopefully will be a consolation on 90 minutes, caught us unawares there. And we were pressing forward. And our players tired in defence. And Daka 2-1. Highlight from kickoff. Matthias Dale. And we've given the ball away again. This is all going to go downhill very, very quickly. Sarr. I'm going to nearly give away a penalty then. Dewsbury Hall. Matthias Dale. Cucurella to Sterling, who's just come on. Fresh legs. Crosses that in. Nobody there, though. But Mount has picked it up. Mount has a go. Just wide of the post. And we survived. Survival it was. Obviously the tiredness creeping in from the game in midweek, which caused us the problems, and well, just managed to survive that as it turned out. So we've ended up a 2-1 win. We are into the semi-finals of the FA Cup in our quest to retain this trophy. 14 shots, 8 on target, over the 50%. 0.98, 62% of the possession. They had 4 shots, 2 on target, of which they scored 1, 0.70, and 38% of the possession. They'll be a little bit disappointed, I would have thought. And confirmation of that result, 2-1 against Leicester. I thought Arsenal were playing Fulham, and I thought we might get that result as well. But we did finally get it, and Arsenal beat Fulham by 5-0. So it means that it's Liverpool, Manchester City, Chelsea and Arsenal in the semi-finals. Who will play who? We'll find out at the start of the next episode, because we'll come back for that draw. We are likely, let's have a look. Because it's really only the FA Cup now that we're in. Final will be at the end. Semi-finals there. So I think we're going to come back for Brighton and the FA Cup semi-final. Oh, they are both on the same day at the moment, so one of those will drop out. So that will sort that one out, I think. But we'll work it. Obviously, we will come back for Liverpool, Newcastle, final 2 games of the season. Yeah, we'll work out what the next episode is going to be a surprise, boys and girls, because I'm not quite sure at the moment, until I've done the draw, actually how that is going to fall out. Yeah, I'm not sure where Brighton will drop. Brighton will move down here somewhere, so it could be the FA Cup semi-final and Brighton, possibly, if they end up midweek, and then we'll be coming back, possibly for Brentford, Everton, or even Everton, Arsenal, and then it depends who we get in the semi-final course, and then finish up on Liverpool, Newcastle at the end of that episode. Right, hope you've enjoyed today's episode. If you have, don't forget to leave me that big thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the notification button. That keeps you up to date with all of the Making Chelsea Stand Proud episodes, and of course our other series, To Be a Legend. If you haven't seen that series, go and have a watch it. The playlist is down in the description somewhere. New series will we've already talked about it in this episode. Hopefully will come up at some point or other, and yeah, the best way of keeping up to date with whatever's happening on this channel is to follow me on Twitter at JustOffsideFM. New episodes Making Chelsea Stand Proud are released every Tuesday and Friday at 4:15 p.m. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you for the next episode. It'll be episode 94. It's out on Friday. Until then, it's a very goodbye. Goodbye.